Okay, Wednesday here, Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Got to go ahead and confess, did not stay up late last night. Actually got pretty good night's sleep. I just got to come clean. Did not see 1 minute of the Alabama UNLV game, but I did check the highlights and the score when I woke up this morning. Does that count?
It does count. Did you at all have the urge? I mean, that was a late game last night, late tip off and all that. 11 o'clock at night last night. Don't blame you. Alabama beats UNLV in Vegas. UNLV is not very good, but
I'm glad you said that.
Alabama's resounding win.
I'm glad you said that first instead of me, because you know me. First thing I thought of, UNLV must suck.
They're not good. Alabama wins it by 39.
Hey, there you go.
They beat UNLV 115-76. The game Central Time ended about 1:15, something like that. Central Time started at 11. Here's some bad news. They're doing the same thing tonight.
I saw that.
Alabama, Maryland, TNT tonight at 11 o'clock this evening out on that Players Era Festival. That's it. And then they head back to Tuscaloosa.
We're not broadcasting tomorrow because it is Thanksgiving. Early happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. I still don't see myself staying up past 11. Maybe I'm going to be with some relatives. We're going to be chewing the fat, talking about the Iron Bowl. You know, maybe we stay up till 11, a little past, since I don't have to get up early tomorrow. Playing Maryland.
The Big Ten, yeah. Hey, Maryland Terrapins, former national champion.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of it. I will say this, though. I do understand this was the second highest point total that Alabama has ever scored. I'd love to know what the highest was.
115 in regulation. Aiden Holloway scores 26. Alabama can score the basketball. That ain't going to be a question.
Do you remember, Barry, that they scored 115 against BYU last year?
I do not. The only score, and I did a lot of Alabama basketball games on TV back in the day. Ding. But the only score total I ever remember about Alabama was when they came to Beard Eves Coliseum under David Hobbs, and Auburn won that one 94-40.
Yeah, it was a tough day.
I do remember that. Auburn had a running back on the football team named Clifton Robinson and an offensive lineman named Kendall Mack on that team. And because they were short on numbers on the basketball team, they actually, played a little basketball that year to help out. They both got in the game. Clifton Robinson hit a 3-pointer, I think. That was that kind of game.
That's kind of tough. When a guy comes, you're getting beat so bad they're bringing kids out of the stands.
Yeah.
That's
and it wasn't Otis Mounds.
That's embarrassing.
It's a decent question to ask. Hey, and John, up front as he is, will admit it. John is always two things. He's always a stand-up guy. He'll say, man, I didn't watch it. And number two, he always questions everything. How in the world do you guys, last night or tomorrow, how will you guys chew the fat? I mean, what is question? Who was the first person to say, oh, we just chewed the fat?
Well, and just to clear this up, make because that's a great question. I look forward to answering that. It was Alabama's highest neutral site scoring output, eclipsing the previous scoring high at a neutral site of 113 against BYU in the Sweet 16 last season.
What are you waiting at? Come on.
How do I forget that?
That's a valid question. John addressed it before it's even asked. No, he did not stay up till 11 o'clock to watch the tip-off of Alabama UNLV. A fair question to ask. Was there at any point, and again, bear in mind, that was I think an 8 o'clock tip-off, 7:30, something like that last night. Was there any point last night that you were tempted to go out into your driveway and sit in your car and listen to Andy and Randall Dickey call Auburn's 30-point loss to number 7 Michigan? any point we said, hang on, honey, I'll be back. Where are you going again?
No, it wasn't. That's so unlike me. And I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. And this is just a personal opinion. I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings. But Andy's got his work cut out for him because I don't think his color analyst is very good at all. It's just me. I don't know the guy. Could be somebody's uncle. Who knows? I just don't think he's very good. I sense it with you? A little frustrated at times with him. So I don't listen unless it's a really special occasion. And secondly, Bruce Pearl was at the game last night. He was part of the broadcast crew, and they were interviewing Bruce along with, I guess, a couple of members of the Fab Five from Michigan from 40 years ago. Were also a part of that group that was talking at halftime. They were kind of needling Bruce a little bit, and Bruce was taking it because Michigan had a big lead at halftime. I found that entertaining, so that probably kept me away from the driveway.
By the way, for anybody who doesn't know the Fab Five, they were the bomb back in the days. Five freshmen all played. All started for Michigan. They made it to the national championship game. Jimmy King, Ray Jackson, this is top of my head. Jimmy King, Ray Jackson, Jalen Rose, Chris Webber, Juwan Howard.
It was Jalen Rose and Chris Webber that were on the broadcast. And they showed a picture of the Fab Five as players, and there only were four of them. And they're going, yo, man, where's Ray Ray? Well, how come he's not in the picture?
People forget Ray Jackson, just like they forget Randy Jackson.
So, yeah, but anyway, a little of that. And it was a tough night for Auburn. And I'll say this about Michigan. I've said it about other teams. They're big. They're bulky. They look like they can push you around. I just don't see that with SEC teams. And I've only seen, 3 SEC teams play so far. But I just don't see that like I've seen some of these other schools.
Didn't you I know you like Charlie Trop, and everybody loves Charlie
he's awesome.
Great guy.
Played softball with him. He was a great shortstop on our team.
He is. Great athlete. Love us some Charlie Trotman. But did Auburn radio color analysts peak when they had Stan White for football and Sonny Smith for basketball?
Yeah, I mean, nothing against those other guys. Gusty Yearout was good. I mean, I can still hear him screaming about Snake on that play he was held on.
The run in the mud.
But, they're all good in their own way. Well, some of them are. But, Stan and Sonny, that's a bar that's going to be hard to eclipse. And I miss those guys. I mean, why did Stan have to? I mean, come on, Stan.
You've got to let it go, John. You've got to let it go.
Oh, that was just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
What is Bill from Baltimore trying to? Is he jabbing me, or am I reading this the wrong way?
Let's see.
This was like 13 minutes before we came on the air today.
This is it. Does anybody notice? Has anyone ever noticed that Notre Dame can stink? But John says they're a brand and should be shown the respect. But the Cowboys are a brand too, and he trashes them. That is a fair question. That is a fair question.
Yeah, okay. So
it doesn't matter if like I've said before, way back when Notre Dame wasn't very good.
Yeah.
They weren't very, putzing around with Jerry Faust and Tyrone Willingham and Charlie Weiss and all of that. And I said, Notre Dame, what is it? And John says, they're Notre Dame. Which is not an explanation. It's just a statement. But what's the difference there?
Notre Dame has proven they can come back. They played in national championship games. They've been in the college football playoff. They've been relevant. The Cowboys, not so much. I can't remember the last time the Cowboys were in the Super Bowl, NFC championship game, one playoff game. Don't matter. Going to still put the Cowboys on. Could be terrible. America loves the Cowboys, so we're going to put them on. I mean, how many times do you see the Cowboys play at 12 noon on a Sunday?
Never.
Very rare.
Guess what? Guess who's playing on Thanksgiving afternoon?
Sure. Yeah.
In Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas and Kansas City, 3:30 CBS.
Coming off a 325 kick 5 days ago in Dallas on a Sunday against Philadelphia. And they're usually, if they're not playing then, they're playing on Sunday night or Monday night. Barry, they got to be playing, the Houston Texans or the Tennessee Titans to play. No, the Titans, they're the worst team. They'd have to be playing the Titans in Nashville to play at noon on a Sunday. And I'm not sure they do that either.
I'm sure the Titans would be all giddy saying, oh, boy, we're finally getting some TV exposure. Because that's, also.
But Notre Dame has found, they've come back. They're relevant. I mean, here's a perfect example. I go to ESPN.com. I'm looking at the bracket. I'm sure we'll talk about that in just a moment. They're pumping some running back at Notre Dame for the Heisman.
Hey,
the guy's a good player. I'll give him that. I'm thinking, this guy's going to win the Heisman? If this guy was playing anywhere else, he wouldn't have a shot at winning the Heisman.
Well, he's really, really good. And unlike, some schools that have had Heisman Trophy candidates and they've been hurt by a lack of exposure, Ryan Leaf, Drew Brees at Purdue, Joey Harrington at Oregon back in the day, Jeremiah Love's going to get the exposure at Notre Dame. Now, this is Iron Bowl week.
Yes, it is.
They play Saturday night at 6:30 on ABC.
Herb Street and Fowler, I understand.
Big difference in the approach in this game. Alabama needs this win really badly to keep in the college football playoff picture.
Yeah.
They have won 5 in a row in the Iron Bowl. The last loss was quick. Last loss for Alabama. I'll have to look it up.
You need to give me a hint, Barry. What fluky play happened in that game for Auburn to win? That's how I would remember it.
What was that game? Am I 2019? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, Auburn, meanwhile, they're in the middle of a coaching search.
Oh.
They are, this is a true fact. I'm not sure it's a motivation. If Auburn wins, they will be bowl eligible. Whew. Is that a big deal, Auburn?
Is that the good news or the bad news?
Well, the good news is if Auburn wins, they win the Iron Bowl, and that's in and of itself. Hey, we beat Alabama, and I was looking the other day on social media, and also I was looking at the AuburnUndercover.com message board, and there are guys on there who say, look, Summerall's a great guy, all that, but if DJ Durkin beats Alabama, we better give him the job and not even think twice. That's short-sighted.
Very much so. I
thinking, other than that, there are no real other angles. I mean, Alabama's a better football team. Alabama's had a better year. Alabama has some warts, which is not normally what you see with Alabama. There are some warts out there. They can be beaten. Sometimes I think playing at Jordan-Hare Stadium collectively gets in their heads. Oh my gosh. Like John said, what crazy fluky thing is going to happen here to totally bite us in the rear end here at Jordan-Hare Stadium? Yeah. I do think it's a little bit over the top, AL.com's coverage of it. Stories like, is Jordan-Hare Stadium haunted? An AL.com investigation. Matt Scalisi writes, the headline reads, Jordan-Hare Stadium is a portal to hell. What? And John, don't expect him to defend that. Don't expect him to deny that. I mean,
I think you're onto something. Like, I don't get it. I mean, they claim LSU is a horrible place to play. That's never bothered Alabama before. And it's intimidating. It's electric. It's exciting, but hadn't been a problem for Alabama. Knoxville hadn't been a problem most of the time, majority of the time. Athens, Georgia doesn't seem to be too big of a problem either. But I don't know, something about going over there. It's a little different. Maybe it's they got to come to Montgomery and it's a long bus ride up 85. I mean, your whole day is kind of different. I mean, I think it's an advantage for Auburn. It's in kind of a remote area in terms of getting there. I mean, you can't fly a commercial airline into Auburn, so you either got to go to Columbus or Montgomery, and then you got to stay overnight and bus over there that day. And the players are sitting there going, man, where are we going? Where is this place? So maybe that's a little part of it as well. It's just a little different in that respect. But the fans are what I think has always made the difference. I was having this conversation last night amongst Auburn people, looking at me seriously going, are you going to the game Saturday? And
Heck no.
I looked around like, me? You talking to me? And, it's electric. It's loud. It's energy. They are definitely the 12th man. I've always thought that with the Auburn fan base. So, yeah, I mean, you got to expect some unusual things. And I think Ty Simpson better be ready. It's going to be loud. It's going to be hard to change the play.
According to John,
probably going to be some illegal procedures in this game, I would imagine.
Yeah, just, the kick six game, all 10,000 people in the end zone, in that south end zone.
Yeah.
When Adam Griffith made the kick, all 10,000 fans immediately go, that let it go short.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's
that made it go short.
Yeah, So yeah, I have fun if you're heading over there. I understand the weather's going to be nice, but it will be chilly. So dress appropriately for that. Bill from Baltimore at 702. I had this same thought, Bill. I thought this exact same thing because I saw Greg Gurn at Alabama's game Monday night, the game in which they lost on Monday night. Is he sitting there? I'm thinking, Greg, how about working up a little, 2-for-1 deal with UNLV in football? I mean, if we're going to play these crap games like Eastern Illinois and Mercer, just throw UNLV on the schedule. They come to Tuscaloosa twice. You go out there once and play in that new stadium on the Strip. Why not?
Why not? Yeah. Okay. By the way, we've got rivalry week stuff to talk about. USC and UCLA, I think.
Is it? Oh, you know what I like about that game? They both wear their home uniforms.
Yeah, and it's at the Rose Bowl, I believe.
Yep. Okay.
This might be the last time UCLA plays a regular season game at the Rose Bowl. Pasadena is suing UCLA to, their contract is up. UCLA wants to move to SoFi. SoFi Stadium is only 12 miles away from UCLA. Rose Bowl's 26 miles away and all that, so there's a little history as well. Got a lot to talk about rivalry week coming up. Basketball. Again, no show tomorrow, so we do have Jason Caldwell. We do have Rodney Orr today.
That's exactly right, Barry. CJ Duncan in about 12 minutes.
Yep.
Yellowhammer News. Looking forward to talking to CJ here momentarily. And Dennis Mitchell the questions are coming at a rapid pace this morning on the River Region Straw chat line.
I love them. We'll try to address them all, Dennis, sometime during the course of the show. We're busy. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Stivers Ford of Montgomery has Bronco Sports for $8,000 off, Broncos for $10,000 off, or take advantage of the sign and drive lease offer with $399 for 36 or 48 months and 0 down payment.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Stivers Ford of Montgomery has F-150 $16,000 off or 0% for 66 months. Even Lightnings $16,000 off or 0% for 75 months, and Super Duties $12,000 off.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
The dreams that matter most happen while we're awake, because they're the ones that remind us of the places we want to go, of the ideas we plan to pursue, of the legacies we hope to leave. We understand you have goals to meet, and we want to help you reach them, to fuel your vision and invest in whatever motivates you. So we want to know, what inspires you? Synovus Bank, member FDIC.
Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air is excited to participate in our annual Catch Me in Pink campaign, raising money for cutting-edge breast cancer research. We partnered locally with the Joy to Life Foundation and Vera Bradley to help raise significant funds in support of the cause. Each week, we are giving away prizes locally in addition to our national grand prize, a tropical trip for two. To enter, simply snap an USSI of you and a pink-clad Dixie employee and enter it on our website. Dixie will donate money for every photo that's submitted, and you will be entered to win big.
Okay, here we are back at it. It is Wednesday. It is rivalry week, as Barry mentioned before the break. Some great rivalry games, not just the Iron Bowl, but certainly some great games throughout the weekend. Starts on Friday, Egg Bowl.
Yes, the Friday. Egg Bowl. Number 7, Ole Miss at Mississippi State. Not only is it Friday, but it's Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm. So I've got some relatives, Barry, I think you're aware of, that live in Oxford.
Oh, yeah.
Have for years. My sister's children, all 3 of them, graduated from Ole Miss. Her oldest has lived there. She teaches. Her husband's a huge Ole Miss fan. It's been a rough week. They are not comfortable with the situation. I mentioned they're having Thanksgiving over there tomorrow. I said, well, are they going to Starkville for the game? And my sister said, are you kidding me? And I kind of went, so Ole Miss fans feel about Starkville kind of like Alabama fans feel about going to Auburn?
The dynamics are the same. If there was a talk show similar to ours in Mississippi, one announcer would be like, one announcer would say, Ole Miss, you go, Starkville's in the middle of nowhere. They have to have a long bus ride. They don't really know where it is, remote location, kind of like what somebody just said. The dynamics are similar. Mississippi State has got straw in their hair and, wearing overalls without a shirt underneath it, and that's the girls. Ole Miss, cultured, rep tie, Oxford shirt. With with
Pookie
all of those traffic
and Thurston. I see where you're working there.
But they're also worried as heck.
Oh, they are.
This is right. Mississippi State's not very good. I do like their coach. He'll get it turned around, but Ole Miss, if you lose this game, and I don't think you will, but if you do, everybody is going to blame Lane.
Yeah.
The distraction. Well, he already had one foot out the door, which is what people said when Franchione lost to Auburn that one year. He was already headed to College Station.
Kiffin. And I know it's a business. I get it. Hey, I love you and we're friends, but this is a business. I understand that. I wonder, and I don't know why Lane would do this because he's going to get more money than he could ever need, but it's like the story of Saban when he was going to go to Texas. And the story goes that his agent, Jimmy Sexton, had met with the Texas representatives, and basically Jimmy got him everything he wanted. Everything he asked for, the Texas people said, done. Got it. It's yours. You've got it. And they're thinking Saban's on the way to Austin. And there was a lot of buzz about it.
Well, yeah. The deal was Sexton got him a clipboard and he said, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And they said, done, 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 done. When they met all of the criteria, and it was some pretty exorbitant criteria, and Sexton said, all right, we'll do, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. It was all good, and they thought, we got him.
Yeah, they certainly did. They thought Saban was coming to Austin. Sexton throws it on Greg Burns' desk and goes, this is what Texas is offering. Next thing you know, there's a press conference. Nick Saban has got a new extension and a raise, and he's staying in Alabama. And the people at Texas are going, whoa, what just happened here?
Uh-huh.
Is the same thing happening in Oxford, Mississippi? Because I still can't figure out, if you're going, what are you waiting around for? You should know by now if you're going or not. You're not going to make up your mind 10 minutes after you play Mississippi State on Friday morning.
There's now precedent. The most every once in a while I like to frame things this way. The most important thing that happened yesterday in college football, Eric Morris agrees to be the head coach next year at Oklahoma State. I know who's Eric Morris. Eric Morris is the head coach at North Texas. North Texas is 10-1 in the American. They're on a collision course with Tulane or whomever in the American for a college football playoff bid. I don't even know who North Texas has this week. But the deal is that Eric Morris, fine young coach, great offensive move, is going to Oklahoma State, but Oklahoma State says, look, you can coach in the final regular season game. If you go to the American Championship game, you can coach there. You can coach North Texas. If you go to the college football playoff, but if you go to just like a regular bowl game, we want you here.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know why Oklahoma State's fine with that. You'll recruit for us later, or whatever. I'm not really 100% sure why North Texas is fine with that. But, John, that's a blueprint now. I
think it is, Barry, because I got to think this guy, he's recruiting for Oklahoma State. He's probably reached out to some people, things are going to get going next week. He's going to get everybody lined up. Now, that's a lot of plates to be spinning. You got this team over here, this one over here, trying to win it. But I'm with you. You got to serve masters until you get the process completed.
Well, the point is that's a blueprint for Auburn and Sumrall. That's a blueprint for Lane and Florida or Lane and LSU, whatever. I would be surprised if John Cohen didn't come up to Sumrall's agent and says, hey, take a look at what they agreed to over here at Oklahoma State. See, he's a coach at Oklahoma State. They've got a face to the program, but he's with North Texas for the duration. How about that? How do you feel about that? We'll get you, we'll announce you, we'll get the ball rolling with you, we'll get the fan base ready for you and everything. And whatever Tulane does, that's what, you can go ahead and hang with them. This is what John was talking about. If you're going to hire him, go ahead and hire him.
If you take it to the next level, and, I don't know what North Texas's situation is, nor Tulane for that matter, but if Auburn came to Summerall and said, we need you Sunday, it's either Sunday or not. And Summerall says, okay, I'm coming. And Tulane says, you're gone. Well, we'll let your offensive coordinator coach from here on out. I think these other schools have got to put a little pressure on these coaches. I know they're in a position they've never been in before. And if Tulane wins, I think the bracket says if they win their conference championship game, of course, they got to win against Carolina this weekend or Charlotte, which shouldn't be a problem.
Right. Yeah.
But they're going to be in. But if Auburn wants Summerall on campus by Sunday, I think Tulane's got to say, okay, pack your bags, you're gone. Well, you're not hanging around here if you're going to go end up coaching there. And I know it's tough. Well, this is our best chance ever. This guy got us here. Well, he needs to stay with us. And if not, move on. That's kind of the way I see it.
Yeah, but there is at least, it's happened now to somebody else. You can look at that and say, somebody else is willing. Somebody else really wanted this job. How bad do you want our job? We also have to address this on rivalry week.
Okay.
Is it really rivalry week anymore? Georgia has won 7 in a row against Georgia Tech in their clean, old-fashioned hate rivalry. Michigan has beaten Ohio State 4 straight times in the game. Alabama has beaten Auburn 5 straight Iron Bowls.
Well,
we need to start having a little bit more evenness if these are going to be big, huge rivalry games.
Depends on who you're asking. I think Georgia, Michigan, and Alabama fans are happy with the way things are going. Oh, yeah, it's a great rivalry. Oh, yeah. Kind of like people would say, is Alabama and Tennessee really a rivalry? Sure it was. Are you kidding me? Those 15 years in a row, it was a great rivalry if you're a Bama fan. Man, let's head up to Rocky Top. Can't wait to get there. This is awesome.
Woohoo! Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have these little trends of one team winning more than the other, but it's just what goes on in and around the game that makes it a rivalry. Maybe just the 60 minutes that's played in the fall, but the other 364 days of the year that you're talking about it. And
all right.
Meeting your friends about it. Yeah, you're right, Tobias. I hear you working. Yeah. Boom. Exactly.
Now,
Alabama's already beaten their biggest rival this year, 37-20. Yeah. Hello.
I'll go ahead and lance the boil here. Tennessee has won 4 straight against Vanderbilt.
That's okay. No big deal.
We'll address that.
Yeah, I'm sure our next guest loves you bringing that up.
I'm just bringing it up before he gets here. So just to set the table, so to speak. CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News. I think he's still going to be on with us after the break. He may not hold through, but he's coming up. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Okay, back at it here, about 27 minutes to the top of the hour on this Wednesday. Our man CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, joins us each and every Wednesday. So glad he's here with us today. Hello, CJ. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing?
We are doing great, even though Barry gave you with a little shot there before you came on.
I'm relieved.
Wow,
Barry, I thought we were friends, buddy. I mean, I really did. I expected more out of this morning. I thought there was going to be a lot of excitement around the doors, especially the way that the committee treated us last night. Nobody wants to see us win. Nobody wants to see us win, but you know what? We play best that way. We really do.
Yeah, I got to tell you, there was a lot to like last week from Vanderbilt. I think John, he predicted a Commodore win. He didn't think that they would cover against Kentucky, but my gosh, 45-17, a 28-point win. Man, that has our respect, CJ.
Well, I tell you, John, I was in the same boat as you, to be honest with you. And if you were prior to the games, they allow alumni to come back in the new stadium. They've got this cool deal where they're doing basically a tailgate inside the stadium. Oh, wow. And the nerves that were going on in that area of the former football guys saying, man, if this isn't a trap game, I don't know what is, right? If this is the definition of a trap game, I hope our guys are locked and loaded and healthy and energized after this bye. Because we really need this win. And man, just to see, we knew before the game started, when they were out there doing the coin toss, the energy between the two sidelines was just completely different. We looked like a playoff team, and they looked like a team that was ready to just get the season over with. And
Really?
so we were not surprised to see that score just based on that alone. But Diego showed up. Trey Richardson, I mean, this kid, I hope we're able to keep him after what he just did. I'm sure he's going to be a hot commodity in the portal. But yeah, it was awesome to see that team win. And really, if you put your eyes on them this weekend, they're a playoff team. And disappointed to see where the committee put us last night.
If you go to Knoxville and win the game, if Texas beats Texas A&M, I think that would be huge for Vanderbilt, a team that beat the Doors, beats the number one team in the conference, Texas A&M undefeated. Of course, if Alabama wins as well to keep kind of going that way, I'm with you, CJ. I mean, I don't see how you keep Vanderbilt out.
Unfortunately, being at number 14, kind of going into this weekend, a lot of things have to go our way. I would have loved if we would have been right there at 12, and had an impressive win against Tennessee. Maybe Oklahoma falls to LSU on a fluke-like situation, or Auburn grabs Alabama. You need one of those two losses to kind of drop, right? That's our only path in, because there's this weird fascination with Notre Dame and this committee. They're getting a lot of respect that I've just not necessarily seen, and somehow they're still ranked ahead of a team that beat them head to head. I guess that doesn't matter anymore. So it's a weird situation, but sitting at 14, it may be a long shot. But we're hoping for the opportunity. If we do, I know the guys will show up.
I mean, it's in Knoxville this Saturday, 2:30. Is it one of those deals where if you go to the game, I mean, you are looking for the Knox County limits, and once you pass by on the way in, okay, we got all our snacks, we got stuff, because we ain't buying any. We got a full tank of gas because we ain't buying anything in Knox County right now.
Oh yeah, well, you know what, and you're getting out of town as soon as you can. That's not one of those places you're just hanging around after a win. You know what I mean? So you may want to even follow the buses out of Knox, County, just to make sure that they probably think you're a part of the team. But yeah, no, I think the guys are excited. There's nothing better than playing on the road this late in the season against your rival. There's not a greater feeling. You're going to have goosebumps, you're going to have excitement, you're going to have nerves, you're going to have it all. It's all going to hit you at some point. But to produce and to be successful in those moments, you remember those more than you do the ones at home. You really do.
Not that it would be much of a consolation prize, because everybody wants to make the playoff. But if Vanderbilt does not make the playoffs, DJ, I would imagine they're probably going to make probably the biggest bowl game they've ever played in.
Well, John, I wish they thought that highly of us, but after years and years of the committees and the folks, the higher ups that come up with these decisions, it'll be our luck that we're in the Music City Bowl right there in Nashville.
Come on.
We've been there, done that with these folks. I think it was my freshman year. I think we've won 8 or 9 games. Had beaten South Carolina head to head. And then somehow South Carolina goes to the Outback Bowl, which was a pretty decent bowl back then, down in Tampa. And then we ended up in the Birmingham Bowl. So I got a little PTSD when it comes to that.
I would think, though, with Diego Pavia, he's such an attraction. I can see the TV networks really, I mean, I'm thinking bigger. I'm thinking, Chick-fil-A Bowl, Sugar Bowl. I mean, am I out of bounds on that?
Yeah, CJ's been hurt before, though.
Yeah, I can see something like that.
You know what? I saw something on social media recently where I think we were a top 10 or 15 program most watched this year on the television, to your point. So hopefully they take that into account. When we're on TV, people are tuning in, and a lot of it, like you said, has to do with Diego or Clark. So we're excited to have those guys on our side, and hopefully that leads to a Chick-fil-A. I don't mind making the trip to Atlanta. That's an easy trip.
Not asking you to pick a winner or anything like that, but I just want you to talk ball, just talk X's and O's. If Auburn were to pull the upset over Alabama Saturday night, CJ, what would it have to look like for Auburn to do it?
Well, a couple things, right? I think Auburn offensively, you just want consistency. Even if you don't score every drive, you want some consistency. You want some extended drives. You want that time of possession to lean in your favor. So every time you get the ball, you're thinking, all right, let's at least cross the 50. Whether we kick a field goal or we punt them deep, let's flip the field each time that we get the ball. If we get a field goal out of it, great. If we get a touchdown, even better. But I think extended drives is huge for them. So that means you got to run the ball well as well. So you got to stay in front of the sticks. Jeremiah Cobb's got to get a healthy portion of these touches to make sure that one you're having these extended drives, but you're staying in front of the sticks. And then also your players got to be players. Your big dogs, your super athletes, your 5 stars. They've got to show up. This is where this is where they separate themselves from everyone else on the team and everyone else on the field. Cam Coleman's got to have a game like he did against Vanderbilt. Don't just beat us up, beat everybody else up too. And so he's got to play well. And then defensively, hey, do a lot of the things you've been doing. Be awesome in the run game. Defensively, continue to shut Bama down as far as on the ground is concerned. Make them one-dimensional, and let's see what the quarterback can do. Let's see if he can beat you for 48 minutes, however long it is, and just go from there. So I think if you do those things, I think there's going to be a really, really good opportunity to keep this thing close. And in Jordan-Hare, if you keep it close at the end of the game, anything can happen.
Yeah, and I think turnovers are going to play a big part in it, CJ. We talked about that in terms of the Oklahoma game. I mean, you look at the stat sheet and you're going, wow, how did Alabama lose this game? Mm-hmm. You got to think Alabama's going to get their numbers, but they just can't turn the football over. And I'm sure that's going to be a big key or a big part of the game plan for Auburn is to get those turnovers and be in the plus column there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you're the underdog here, so you're playing pretty free. You're doing things you may not have normally done, and you're kind of playing for DJ Durkin's job. If the players really like him, you as a player, you're kind of thinking in your head, if we play well, there's a chance he may be our head coach after this. That's probably not going to be the case, but you're thinking there's a possibility there. So I agree. I see them punching balls out. I see them trying to jump routes. But Alabama can't allow that to get them out of their game, right? You can't start to speed up how you play because Auburn's playing, a bit sporadic or whatever it may be. You got to stick to your game plan. But as soon as they rush you up, that's when turnovers start to happen. And then the game is out of hand or the game is heading in the wrong direction.
Your point is well made about, hey, if you like the guy, you're going to play hard for him, do what you can for C.J. Durkin. You're playing for C.J. Durkin's job. Is Alabama playing for Kalen DeBoer's job, C.J.?
You know what? At the University of Alabama, you just never know, right? I would like to say no. I've heard recently a bunch of stuff regarding him in the Penn State job. But if you're Kalen, you're 2 years in, you've had 2 successful seasons. It's hard to fill the shoes of Nick Saban, right? And Nick Saban has had years of 1 loss or 2 losses and then turn them into national championships. And so it's not that he's doing a bad job. It's just he's being compared to an all-time great or not the greatest. So I would not even come close to making that decision. I wouldn't come close to trying to fire him. I think he's doing a great job. There can be some tweaks here and there, especially to the coaching staff. A lot of times that helps with recruiting, but recruiting is doing well. The last I looked, they had 4 or 5 5-stars. So I would just give him some time. It's going to be okay. I mean, you're a few turnovers away against Oklahoma from being a top 5 seed, and then you handle your business early in the year against Florida State, first game of the season. We're not even in this conversation. So you're just a few plays away from being exactly where you want to, and you don't fire a guy over that. I really don't.
Yeah, think so. I'm with you there, CJ. I'll if DeBoer loses, on Saturday night. It's just going to make his life a little more uncomfortable, probably a lot more uncomfortable from the fan base and the media. It's 2 years in a row, don't make the playoff, fell short again, 9-3 again, all that type stuff. But I've never bought into the Penn State deal. I mean, you're telling me you're going to leave Tuscaloosa from one frying pan, jump into the other one who just fired a coach who had a great record.
Right.
Okay, couldn't beat the big boys, but the guy won a lot of games and they got rid of him. Okay, I'm going there. Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Right.
I've never understood that one. I think if Kalen DeBoer happened to leave Tuscaloosa, it would be his decision. This
Correct.
just didn't for me. I want to go back out west. I'm a West Coast guy. That to me is a lot more realistic. Not to say it's going to happen, but I'm with you. I don't think Alabama's in any position at the moment to want to fire Kalen DeBoer no matter what happens Saturday night.
Yeah. No, I mean, like you said, Penn State just fired a guy that was going 10-2 or 11-1 every year.
Sure.
And Kalen hadn't even gotten to that yet. So I don't know that I feel super comfortable going to that situation if I were him. And also, I don't know. I'm in the boat now of like, hey, let's slow this down. Let's not make this a standard of, if you don't make a playoff, then you're fired. It is so hard to win football games, and especially in this conference when you've got to be on your P's and Q's every Saturday. Who would have thought that, Vanderbilt week 5 or 6 of the season would be a tough game? You're already playing playoff-like games that early in the season. It is hard to win games and to create this narrative that you're not a good coach if you don't win 10 or 11 games, or this narrative that, hey, if you don't win immediately your second year in the conference, then you're not a good coach. When we can't brag at, in one conversation saying this is the greatest conference ever. It's hard to play in it because there's so many great teams, but then get mad at your coach if he doesn't go undefeated in his second season.
I will submit that CJ's college coach, James Franklin, was really maybe the very first to get that ball rolling at Vanderbilt, telling them, look, we need to make, facility changes. We need to make, internal upgrades. We need to get this thing where it needs to be. And it didn't get it, while he was there, but he kind of started it. The same thing, I think, CJ, at Virginia Tech, which, I acknowledge they've had some great years, but they are well behind in terms of spending for athletics, spending for football, upgrades and stuff like that. I think James Franklin is a perfect fit for Virginia Tech. Do you?
Well, I think if you're Virginia Tech, you just hope he stays for more than 2 years. I think that's the biggest thing. There's no doubt in my mind he doesn't win at Virginia Tech. Matter of fact, the way the ACC is looking, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the fight for the ACC championship next year. Next year. It's not going to take long. He is that kind of guy. He's going to recruit well. He's going to steal guys from Penn State, which that's their fault. I don't feel bad for him on that one. So he's going to have them in contention very quickly. He's a magnetic guy. He's a heck of a coach. He's got a great staff, and most of that staff has been with him since he was at Maryland and all these other places. So he's got great rapport with these folks. The guys are going to love him. They're going to play hard for him. And this is a football school. There's a lot of rich history at Virginia Tech. So it's not going to take a long time to turn around. Trust me, Vanderbilt was a lot bigger ship to turn around than Virginia Tech was. So I expect him to go in there and be successful day one. I really do.
Do you see Clark leaving Vanderbilt? I personally, I don't. I just see him. I heard his name with some of these openings. I just think he stays.
You know what? The right job, unfortunately, I do see him going. I really do. And I couldn't blame him. I want him to stay, of course, selfishly. He's done an excellent job at my university. He is a Vanderbilt Commodore through and through, grew up in Nashville, played at Vanderbilt, cares about the university and its success. But he's a young head coach, I guess, as far as his career is concerned, and he's hot right now. And, I look at another situation, the Iowa State coach, I can't call his name.
Matt
Blank
Campbell.
on
Yeah.
Yeah, so right. He was hot last year, right? And he was on everyone's list as far as next big thing, next big head coach. He's going to get a big job. He decides to stay, wait a cycle. Now look at him, right? They're just having just one all season. He didn't forget how to coach. Trust me, he's still the same guy. But that's just how it works. The pendulum will swing. You go in waves, and quickly people forget about you and your capabilities. And for me, if for whatever reason we do not have a 9-win season or 10-win season, we have a 7-win season next year or 8-win season. Is that Auburn job going to be there? Is that Penn State job going to be there? And he's still trying to grow as a young coach. So I could not blame him, but I don't want him to do it.
All right, CJ, as we wrap things up with this morning, a lot of great analysis on rivalry week. You grew up here in the state of Alabama, so you know a little bit about it.
Sure do.
Your prediction on the Iron Bowl, who's going to win it Saturday night at Jordan-Hare?
Man, let's see. And first night game in how many years, guys?
2014, I believe.
2014. It just – something's cooking up, and I'm sorry to say it, John, but something is, it just doesn't feel right for the Tide. It just doesn't. You know what? I've got it in a thriller. I think it is going to be 24-21 Auburn, field goal to win the game. I really do.
There you go. Well, in this time of Thanksgiving, with Thanksgiving Day tomorrow, got to let you know we certainly are thankful for you and your presence and your impact on this program. Have a great, thankful day tomorrow. We look forward to it. Chopping it up with you again next week.
Absolutely. Guys, it's always a pleasure to be on with you every Wednesday. Thankful for the opportunity, and I hope you all have a blessed Thanksgiving and safe travels as you go back and forth.
You too, my man. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Much appreciated, CJ.
CJ Duncan, Yellow Hammer News on there. 24-21 late field goal.
That's what he says. Is it a late field goal or maybe a late missed field goal to get it into overtime?
Or, a made field goal, but, for Alabama to tie by the right guard on the field goal kicking unit has a gluteus maximus twitch, and they call him for a false start. Now, Lester Cotton, it's a significant gluteus maximus.
Yeah.
If it was, like Ryan Williams' glutes, referees probably wouldn't notice. But Lester Cotton with a gluteus maximus twitch, that was significant back there to wipe off that.
Have Bama fans played out scenarios in their mind this week of how this game could play out? And one of those scenarios being number 31 trots out onto Pat Dye Field to win the game with 2 seconds left, let's say 41-yard field goal.
A little bit windy, a little bit of a swirling wind.
Cold. And kicking it into the student section end zone, the one that's got the big jumbotron and that
big jumbotron's got a picture of a hairless chihuahua looking down at him.
I mean, the lights are flashing. It's just like a disco in that place. And
Bama fans,
gotta win it.
You guys, you could not hammer a straight pin.
Yeah.
That's a scenario, and he didn't bring up X's and O's. He said, man, there's something cooking down at Auburn now. Something cooking ain't, in the game plan or anything. You can't game plan for something cooking.
Talty could be up in the same area, is Van Tiffin. Van Tiffin, everybody knows Van Tiffin. And the game winner against Auburn. Could Talty be in that same category?
Didn't Van Tiffin kick any field goals against Tennessee? Is it always just that one field
He had
goal?
a lot of kicks. Van Tiffin had a lengthy career in Tuscaloosa, but everybody remembers him for that kick in the Iron Bowl. And of course, if you mention Tennessee, Bear, there's only one kicker that's associated with an Alabama-Tennessee game. I mean,
and that's Philip Doyle.
Yeah, the 6-gun game.
And he had a little bit of help there. Wasn't there like a 15-yard penalty against Tennessee that got him into position? Stacey Harrison.
The Alabama player, I think it was Stacey Harrison that blocked it, but I think the bdon't ricocheted off of his face mask
and rolling and rolling.
It kept rolling the other way. So there was definitely a little help from the
That's
football
what everybody's
gods.
talking about.
Yeah.
There ain't any Alabama fans who were saying, golly, if we just really, really try to master the short passing game, I think that's open for them. Maybe a fade or two to Ryan Williams if we defensively can. They ain't talking about. They're saying, "Oh man, there's crazy things." And I've seen it.
I'm telling you, they're walking around padded walls. I mean, they're trying to. It's like this game can't get over with quick enough. Oh, just please. Let's get it over with. I just, people are going to the movie theater. I ain't watching it. I don't want to see
all
it.
week. They're yelling at their dog. They're.
And you asked earlier in the show, Barry, I'm going to be amongst some Alb relatives this weekend. As a matter of fact, tonight I'll be with them. They got me cooking for them. I'm going by Destin Connection on the way out of town, picking it all up, fixing it up for them tonight. And I'm going to say, hey, I hope you appreciate this. I know you're a big Alb guy, but here I am cooking for you.
Of course they're going to appreciate it. Now, this scenario as well, you mentioned your Thanksgiving is going to be spent around some of your Ole Miss family.
No, that's my sister.
I thought you said that. I thought you said that you had been around them or were coming, going to be around them in Thanksgiving. But you've got plenty of Ole Miss people. Your
Correct.
sister's husband.
Yes.
Yeah. Their kids.
All my sister's children all graduated from Ole Miss.
Right now, if we were to play out the college football playoff rankings now. Here's what you got. You've got first round games. Alabama would be a 10 seed. And Ole Miss would be a 7. And you know what that means? That means Alabama opens up, if they are fortunate enough to get there, Alabama opens up the college football playoff on the road in Oxford.
That's all fun and games and something and giggles. I've heard that line before too.
Yes,
but this doesn't matter. I mean, this is all fun. I know we're going to look at it later. I mean, I'm looking at Tulane in Miami. They got little gold logos or gold panel in the little asterisk says "Must win your conference," and they're in. Okay, I get that.
Oh yeah, okay.
But if Bama loses Saturday, they're not even in the playoff. But if they win and go to Atlanta, they're not going to be a 10 seed. They're going to be higher than that. So maybe that little 8-9 matchup they got right there, maybe that flip-flops a little bit.
I see what you've been working towards this for a while. Maybe Alabama and Notre Dame
in Bryant-Denny on Saban Field in mid-December. Is it getting any better than that?
On that note, we'll get to the top of the hour. Rodney Orr, Tighter Insider, is coming up. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
This is the greatest opportunity for exquisite jewelry from Marguerite's. Marguerite's is filled to the gills with new trendy styles for the holiday season. But to entice sales prior to Black Friday, Marguerite's blowout is on. Every single item at Marguerite's has a crazy, wacko, insane price. Best of all, you can lay away for Christmas at the cuckoo prices. Plus doorbusters, watch batteries $8, rhodium dipping $19, 60% off all diamonds. Marguerite's blowout is on now. Every item at Marguerite's is insanely priced. Marguerite's, Vaughn Road.
Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry is an Alabama-based, family-owned and operated business that specializes in dry cleaning and laundry serving the river region since 1941. There are 12 convenient locations across the river region. Find one close to you or call 481-1911 for free pickup and delivery. For 83 years, Central Alabama has trusted Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry. You should too.
Already top of the hour here on a Wednesday. Longshore and McKnight presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Glad you're with us here. Hope you got some great Thanksgiving plans for tomorrow as well. CJ Duncan mentioned, and I'll certainly second that. Be careful out there if you're traveling around to be with friends and relatives over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend.
Going to be spending Thanksgiving with my wife's family down in Headland, Alabama.
Oh, wow.
For whom I'm very thankful, not the least of which is that my mother-in-law can really cook. I mean, yeah. So,
nice.
Yeah.
So you may not from Troy to Headland. Do you take the route that takes you behind the Dothan Airport?
Yes. Yep. Goes right by there. Yeah, but right by George Wallace Community College. Down there. Yeah.
I had to go to Headland about a
Napier
year ago.
Field.
And I thought, I know I'm lost. I mean, I know my GPS is not right. There's no way I'm going the right way. But boom, there you have it. I ended up in Headland.
The Dothan Airport is in Henry County, just in that corner. Where
not even in Houston County. That's correct.
That's
all right, our man Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market, the freshest seafood arriving daily at 3750 Norman Bridge Road, the Destin Connection. I'm heading that way before I head out of town today to pick up a load of fresh seafood that probably is arriving this morning. It's the freshest available, the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Hey, Rodney, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, guys. How about the both of you?
We're doing really well. Glad you're with us. Glad, that we've got you. Certainly thankful in this Thanksgiving season to have you on with us every week. Anything at all to glean, to take away from the 56-0 win over Eastern Illinois, Rodney?
Well, I guess you could say they handled business pretty much like they should have. I thought the defense played extremely well. I know you've probably covered that completely, but to hold a team to 34 yards, even though it's Eastern Illinois, is still pretty amazing to me. And I think, you look at the last three games, what they've done against LSU, Oklahoma, and Eastern Illinois defensively, it's been really good. Now, again, I understand those offenses have had their struggles for sure. But I think they've done a fantastic job on that side of the ball. And I would say this, last night we had a question on Tider Insider TV. I think what was the biggest surprise of this team so far? And I would have to say it's the Alabama defense. I mean, I didn't expect them to be as good as they've been, play as well as they have. But at the same time, I thought the offense would be a little better. So you ask about Eastern Illinois, and I would say one thing that it did look to me, John and Barry, like they kind of shut things down and ran the football quite a bit. But I am a little, if I want to put it this way, I am a little concerned going into Auburn with Ty Simpson.
Why is that?
I think Ty has, you remember, and again, I know we've hit on this 1,000 times, but it's kind of the thing that sticks with me the most with Ty is all of his ability, but he has these ups and downs, I think, emotionally. I think sometimes Ty puts too much pressure on himself. His expectations, I think, are for perfection. And when he doesn't make a play or when he makes a bad play, Ty kind of carries that with him a little bit.
I've heard
and I
that.
think, and I think we've seen that. I think we've seen that here recently. I certainly think he can get over it. But I think if Alabama wants to go to Auburn and beat Auburn, go to the SEC championship game, which it appears now that it's going to take an SEC championship for Alabama to get into the playoffs, then I think Ty Simpson has to play at that high level where he was earlier in the year.
I took a lot of value out of a post that you made on Monday at TiderInsider.com on the message boards, pointing out Auburn's 1-6, but they've lost 5 one-score SEC games, and what your expectations are for Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb is not to be conservative against this Auburn team, not to be conservative offensively against Auburn. I thought that was spot on, Rodney.
Well, I just don't think you can go in there and play uptight. I think that they have to go in and kind of with that mindset that they had against Georgia. Now, I do understand that Ty's not playing with that same kind of confidence that he was then, but I don't think you can play to that. I mean, I think you've got to at least go in and say, hey, Ty, look, we believe in you. You've done it before. You went to Athens where they had won 33 straight games, and you led us to victory. And that's what it's going to take in this game. You don't have to put it all on yourself. Just play smart. Take your check downs when they're there. You don't have to make all the big plays, but just deliver the ball. Let's move down the field. And you've got the ability to do that. And if something goes wrong, we'll get it corrected. We don't have to, you can't get down there and turn the ball over. I think that's one of the biggest keys. Ty's had, I think, 9 turnovers since the Georgia game.
Really?
He's 4 interceptions, and he went 5 straight games with fumbles. This game against Eastern Illinois kind of snapped that fumble streak. I'm not trying to be hard on Ty. I think Ty's being hard on himself.
Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, joining us here today, brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery. Check them out, the Destin Connection Seafood Market. So is it your belief, Rodney, that beating Auburn does not get Alabama in the playoff? They've got to win the SEC championship game?
I'll put it to you like this. I don't trust the committee.
Fair enough. I don't either.
That's really all I can say. I mean, they change like the wind. I mean, last year it was, okay, we're not going to really hold that against someone. It makes their championship game. And now all of a sudden it matters. And here's the thing that let me preface this first, say this is on Alabama. They blew the Florida State game. They blew the Oklahoma game. Okay. Now, I give Florida State credit because they did come out and play really, really well. And I give Oklahoma credit because they did what they had to do. But Alabama gave that game away, 17 points. Oklahoma, they should have held Oklahoma to probably 6 points, to be honest with you. So I put it on Alabama, the position that they're in. Okay. So they've left it in the hands of the committee right now. They've got a chance to do something about that in these upcoming games. Obviously against Auburn, and then hopefully in the SEC championship game. So this is really more on Alabama, but it's just the committee. I just you look at Alabama's resume, you compare it to a lot of other teams that are ranked higher, and it's actually a better resume. But it doesn't seem like that resume really matters. We've got to do something where we get the best teams in, and again, if Alabama loses to Auburn, they're not one of the best teams. I get that, but we've got to do something about it. Nobody wants to. I'm sorry, nobody wants to watch Tulane in the playoffs. That's just the way it is. Tim Brando might, I don't, and I think most people don't.
I don't think the television networks want those type of matchups. I hear
Alabama's the most watched team in the country, John.
I saw those numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, and look at Notre Dame. Look, I know they were great in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. That's a long time ago.
No.
They hadn't won a national championship since 1988. And I understand that's taking nothing away from this Notre Dame team. Nobody watches Notre Dame. They if you go look at that viewership, they're about, what are they, 12 or something? 10, 12?
They're
barely ahead of Ole Miss. Can you, so I'm on a rant here. I'm on a roll.
I get it, Rodney. I'm with him. I mean, I remember when we were young in the 70s, the 60s, in the 70s, and Notre Dame's jumping over everybody. We're going, whoa, what's going on here?
They shoved them down our throats. They shoved them down our throats, and they're trying to do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I feel about it.
Well, as I said before you came on, Rodney, if things shake out, that 8-9 matchup that's got Oklahoma hosting Notre Dame, I'd like to see that flip-flop and Notre Dame come to Tuscaloosa for an 8-9 matchup if possibly that could happen.
Here's a little background on what Rodney's talking about. They released some of the ratings. Alabama averages for the game, not like at any one point, but averages 8.14 million viewers per game. That's more than anybody else. Notre Dame, I'm not even seeing them in the top
I think
7.
they're at 4.4. They're about 4.4 million, I think, Barry.
Yeah, which is 2 million less than a bad LSU team. Yeah.
And barely ahead of Ole Miss.
You got the TV execs that are probably in the ears of some of these playoff committee people and going, hey, now listen, you know how much money we're spending to broadcast this playoff? We're not telling you how to do your job, but there's a couple of teams out there that get big, big ratings. We need you to give them every opportunity to get into the playoff. I'm not saying that happens, but in the business world, stranger things have happened.
Well, again, it's all up to Alabama basically right now. It's in their hands.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens when they go to Auburn and, kind of go from there.
Well,
and I'll tell you what else is going to be interesting, though, is who's going to be the other team in the SEC championship game. Let's say Alabama does get in. Will it be Texas A&M or will it be Georgia? And I'm telling you, Texas A&M, I know I grew up there. They shudder at the thought of going to Austin to play the Texas Longhorns. So don't count that one for Texas A&M yet.
If we're looking at X's and O's for the Iron Bowl, I don't know why this guy doesn't get a lot more credit, because I've been impressed with him all season long, having not heard much about him at all in the run-up. But I understand that Josh Cuevas, the tight end, was held out of the Eastern Illinois game. There were several who saw limited action that could have played. What are you hearing about him? Is he available to play Saturday night?
Don't know yet, but I guess I should, if I went on my initial report that I got, was that he would not likely be ready this week. So again, I hate to say no, that he's not going to be ready, because I don't know 100%, but it sounded like that he would not be.
So
the last I heard.
Purely football, what kind of impact would his loss mean?
Yeah, purely football. I mean, again, he was a guy that's a playmaker for them. He's a guy that's been an outlet for Ty Simpson. I think he was kind of a security blanket for him. When Ty would check down and find him, and even in plays where it's designed to go to him, he's just so good. I mean, he catches the ball extremely well, makes plays. He's a playmaker at the tight end position. He's a leader. So I think that his maturity would really be missed. I mean, again, I do like Caleb Edwards, the true freshman. I think he's, he's extraordinarily talented. I think he's going to be a great player. He's not there yet. And Marshall Pritchett, the other freshman, we saw him play a lot. He's going to be a fantastic player. And then Jay Lindsey did a good job. I know DeBoer was really happy with the way he performed in the blocking, for the run blocking. So, and I don't know what Danny Lewis's status is. I mean, he's been in and out all year. But yeah, they've got to find a way to, they've got to make up for Cuevas if he's out.
Rodney, there is one fan base that thinks they've got a Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback based on his play against Mercer on Saturday. I'm just kind of curious what you thought about Alabama's freshman quarterback in his role against Eastern Illinois, both Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. How did you think they played?
Well, first of all, Deuce Knight was very impressive. I'll tell you that, even though it's Mercer. Mercer's good on their level.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Deuce was pretty good. But no, I thought honest assessment. And again, it's one game against Eastern Illinois. How do you know? But I was really impressed with Austin Mack, to be honest with you.
Yep.
And I said after that 8A practice or 8A game, whatever you want to call it, that they had in the spring, I said, if this guy ever gets it, if he ever figures out where to go with the ball on a consistent basis and gets it all figured out, he is a extraordinarily talented kid, Austin Mack. And he impressed me. Now, Keelan Russell, same thing. I mean, you could see the skills and the talent and the potential. He's dripping with it, you know. Now, I thought that Austin Mack seemed a little more comfortable and confident. Not that, and again, let me say, I think Keelan Russell's extremely confident in his abilities. I just think he's kind of still being polished up, and they both are. But I thought Mack was a little more polished in that game.
All right. Alabama has won 5 in a row in the series since that year that Malzahn ran the punt unit out there with Bo Nix and
trickeration,
all the timeout they didn't have and all that.
Yeah.
Has there been in the 5-game winning streak, really, Rodney, in the whole series itself, has there been one common theme for Alabama's success when they win the Iron Bowl? Is there something, especially lately, that they've been able to do that has keyed them to victory besides just simply being better?
It's one thing about it is you can't turn the ball over. And I think Alabama's probably done a really good job of that. Not turning the ball over for the most part. And there probably been some games I don't even have it in front of me. So, but I'm trying to think. I'm trying to rattle back over, the thoughts of the last. But I'll tell you what really strikes me or has struck me. First of all, Alabama's never won 3 in a row at Jordan-Hare.
Ah,
they've never done that. They won 3 out of 4 because they won. Let's see, what they win? They won 9. They won 11. They lost 13, but they won 15.
That's correct. All right, so far I'm tracking.
So they won 3 of 4, but they've never won 3 in a row. So they can make history Saturday night down there.
How about that?
But I just think recently how it's kind of funny how some of the crazy things that Auburn, the success that they had at Jordan-Hare against Alabama, people kind of said, oh, it's voodoo, it's haunted, it's this, it's that, whatever it is. Alabama just simply can't win there. But I think the way Alabama's won these last 2 down there, with Bryce leading that last minute drive, 90-something yards, and then the last one with 4th and 31. Here's what I say about Alabama and Auburn. I say the same thing about Alabama, Tennessee. It's a game that anything can happen. I mean, nothing surprises me. And if I was Kalen DeBoer, if I could give him one piece of advice, I'd say, this is what you need to know about this, Kalen. I don't care if you're up by 17 points with 3.5 minutes left in the game. It's not over. It's not over. Anything can happen. When I saw Mark Ingram fumble that ball in the 2010 game, and it rolled straight line 25 yards into the end zone. I said that defies science.
Yeah,
I mean, it does. So, that was really the play that turned everything around.
John's never had a putt that rolled that straight, and the golf ball's round.
Yeah.
I mean, Trent Richardson's hits him right in the numbers. He's wide open. He's going in to make it 35-0 or whatever.
He drops it.
Gee, my netty. Why'd you have to bring that up, Rodney? Now I'm going to be all worked up today. All right. 4 quarters, the entire game, full 60 minutes. What's the best game, in your opinion, Alabama's played so far this season?
4 quarters. Well, the one that you think of course, is going to Georgia. I thought they played a great first half. Now, we could say that they did not play as well in the second half, which would be fair in some ways. But to compete the way they did in that second half and to make the plays that they did, for example, Georgia has that 4th down play at Alabama's 12-yard line.
Right.
Alabama makes the play. It's 4th and 1.
Yeah.
And Alabama makes the play. Cash Jones scores if LT Overton doesn't knock him off balance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the Georgia game, I really think, too, as I look at it, the Vanderbilt game, the way they fought in that game, the way they kind of in the fourth quarter separated themselves from Vanderbilt, I thought that was really impressive. And, you could say the Missouri game. None of these games are beautiful 4-quarter games. I don't know that Alabama's played a beautiful, and I'm talking about not ULM or not Wisconsin. I'm talking about, an SEC team. So,
well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Has Alabama played a complete game yet?
No, they haven't. They haven't. And offensively, I think is where it's probably been the most apparent they haven't.
Yep.
They've had spurts. They played well maybe a half and didn't play well in the second half. I don't really know why that is. Maybe John and Barry, it's because they're not balanced. Maybe it's because they're one-dimensional. And when you don't have a run game in the second half, when you're up, where you can deliver the knockout blow, that could be why they haven't played a full game.
Excellent stuff, as always, from Rodney Orr, Tiger Insider. Always thankful here in this thankful season of his contribution to the program. And so much more is on the website. How do people get involved, Rodney?
Right. It's TigerInsider.com. It's only $48 a year, and you can get instant access with your credit card if you prefer. There is an address there to send a check, and that gives you all our premium information. But also, you mentioned our All Sports Forum, our community there of Alabama fans, and it's pretty much nonstop. Right now, they're talking a lot of basketball, obviously, but it's going to turn heavy to Auburn here tomorrow or next day.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I would say the message board is going to be extremely active coming up this weekend. So get ready. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting, guys. There's a lot of interesting things that we might be talking about here over the next couple of weeks. And this game could kind of be
especially,
the telltale.
Especially Friday and Saturday, I'll be looking over the message board and I'll see a post that I really like. And so I'll run over and I'll get my wife or I'll call my buddy. And then I'll say, you got to look over here on page 1. And he says, I don't see it. I said, oh, it's on page 5 now. Hang on just a minute. It's like 5 minutes later.
You got to be, you got to be on top of it because those pages move
pretty
briskly,
fast,
to say the least. Yeah, there's a lot going on, a lot to keep up with. Rodney will be here with us to analyze it and break it down. And Rodney, as always, man, we greatly appreciate your time. Hope you and your family have a wonderful Thanksgiving tomorrow. And, man, we look forward to talking to you next week.
Hey, John, Barry, I appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving to you, your families, and also your listeners, the viewers. I know you've got a large viewership. I hear from a lot of them. So happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much, Rodney. Take care.
Thank you.
Rodney or TigerInsider.com. I love some of those posts in there, and it's a lot of basketball right now. But you'll have the obligatory stuff. And to be honest, I don't really get into a lot of the breakdown from some of the people. Like Jim L will say, I'm telling you, it's all right offensive guard that needs to shape up. No. What I like is a guy who's in there. He's like Tighter from Eider. And it'll be Aubs eat boogers. And that's it. That's the post right there. And underneath it'll say like word or all day long or, preach brother or something like that. Those are the ones I like.
Oh, they're good. I enjoy watching them as well. Hey, Pat the Cat. Hey. Pat, it's been a minute. Glad you're back and found us here with Longshore and McKnight. He's on the River Region Straw chat line. And Ty, I'm going to answer this because I saw or I heard my man Joel Klatt make this statement. At 8:19,
okay.
Ty,
Hang on. Yeah.
This contribution to the chat line.
John, What are your thoughts on your man Joel Klatt
Mm-hmm.
saying that Auburn versus Bama rivalry isn't even in the same galaxy?
Yeah, come on.
As Ohio State versus Michigan?
Yeah. Ty, here's the deal here. I don't believe Joel Klatt's ever been to an Iron Bowl in person in his life.
Not.
But it's easy. Joel Klatt works for Fox. Fox carries the Big Ten. They're promoting the Big Ten as the greatest thing since sliced bread. Rarely do they even talk about the SEC. I know because I watch Colin Cowherd while I'm eating lunch, and Klatt comes on Wednesdays usually, and it's a Big Ten love fest. That's all they're talking about. I mean, whether it's Michigan, Ohio State, of course, Colin loves Southern Cal. He's got a man crush on Lincoln Riley. They love Oregon. You know, I guess they love Indiana. They don't talk about them very much, but those four teams they talk about all the time. And, of course, they've got Ohio State and Michigan on Saturday. I believe it's 11 o'clock. Why the Big Ten has not figured out you can play games at night, I don't know.
I'll never forget. I'll never forget.
They're Big Ten homers.
When Troy played at Ohio State one time, we played at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I asked the guys up there, I says, man, why are, I noticed this. Why is this? Because you go to Ohio State, and at the time, and this was 10, 12, 14 years ago, they didn't have lights.
Yeah.
There were no lights at the Horseshoe, for goodness sakes. Now, we play all the games at the daytime. I'm thinking, why? Well, yeah, I don't know why all of a sudden it came tighter from Eider. Eider was there used to be an Auburn linebacker named Rusty somebody. And he was from Eider. Plainsman Preston said there was a young girl from Eider who posted on Tider Insider.
Uh-huh.
She said that the Tide was about to get fried and they told her to lay off the cider.
So there, I like Klatt. I think he's interesting. I like his analysis, but I get it. I mean, he's a company man. He's not going to say anything bad about the Big Ten when they all know the Big Ten's made up of about 3 schools.
Yeah.
I mean, the Big Ten don't want any part of the SEC. You kidding me? Come on.
Yeah. Now, Pat the Cat, real quick. Let's take a break right here.
Okay.
Pat the Cat's later, because when we come back, Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com will spend time with us. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
This isn't going to work. No matter what we say, some people still drive drunk. But we're Budweiser. Giving a damn is what we do. So, if you think it's okay to drive drunk, if you think it's something that's debatable, or you just simply don't care, this Bud is not for you. Give a damn. Don't drive drunk. Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Travel Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk, stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Travel Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet. Okay, I know we're kind of pressed for time, so let's go ahead and get the Phantom Daily Dog away out of the way quickly. Yeah, real quick.
Which tells me something, just off the top of things.
I don't know what it is about the MAC. I really don't. I can't figure the MAC out. I'll be the first to tell you. The MAC is just really kicked me in the tail over the last couple of weeks. And they kind of teased me last night, Barry, because Eastern Illinois catching 7.5 takes a 7-point lead. And
Eastern
I'm thinking,
Michigan,
Eastern Michigan. I'm thinking, oh, here we go. Turn it back again. Western Michigan's up 20-7. I'm thinking, oh my Lord, please come on. Well, they only lose by 10 at home, Eastern Michigan to Western Michigan, 31-21, but we were only getting 7.5. 7.5.
By the way, in the other MAC game last night, Bowling Green beats UMass by 31. UMass finishes the season 0-12. Since the 12-game regular season, that's probably the fourth time that's happened in the 12-game season. They're really bad. So they're the first team in college football whose season is over.
Man,
we're getting to that time of the year. They're done.
Not even Thanksgiving yet, and UMass is packing up the equipment. That's kind of sad.
Now, today, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Pickings are a little slim.
They are a little slim, Barrys. And we're actually we're going to take an off day today because there's really not a lot that we like, but we're not going to be on the air tomorrow due to Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So we're going to go to a Thursday game. So give you a little, tap the brakes a little bit, enjoy the family and whatnot, get ready for a slate on Thursday that begins with the NFL, at noon, 3:30, 7:20. You got a lot of variety there. You do have a college game. Navy is at Memphis.
Big game. Big
game there as well. And that's where we're going, Barry. We're going here because Navy's kind of hanging around. They're keeping busy as well. Memphis also, there's a lot of postseason implications here. I do like some of these NFL games, but I like this college game even more, particularly when I'm getting Navy plus 5.5 at Memphis. I do like Navy. Maybe not win the game, but I like the 5.5 there. I certainly could see them winning it. I usually like an underdog I think can win the game outright, and the points are a bonus. I see that here. Boom. We're going with Navy plus 5.5 as the daily dog. Not today, but for tomorrow on Thursday.
There we go. That's your Phantom's Daily Dog. And we welcome in Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com to the program. How you doing, Jason?
I'm good. How about y'all?
I'm a little bit ticked off that Auburn High lost to Opelika. I don't know how that happened and everything, but I got to move ahead. But, oh, man.
What was that, 31-28?
Yeah, and they had a pick six early and gave up a kickoff return for a touchdown. So that was two of the touchdowns. And so both teams played much better late in the season. Opelika just kind of found their groove here. And so it's going to be really interesting to see them and Thompson after the Thompson wild one with Central Phoenix City. That'll be Wednesday night. So next Wednesday night in Birmingham. So not much happening that day. Hopefully we'll have a coach named by then. But that's signing day, and Auburn basketball plays that night. So just a quiet day next Wednesday.
Yeah, I wanted to ask what Patrick Nix was thinking going for two late instead of instead of kicking and tying. But that's for another show. In your estimation, will there be a coach named by next Tuesday? I mean, by next Wednesday, Jason?
I think so. I mean, we've all kind of heard the talk early on of, hey, would love to do it as soon as possible after the Iron Bowl. I still believe that's still the plan. And again, it's been really quiet. You've heard tons of speculation at a lot of other places. And John Cohen has kept this very close to the vest. As we know, he's done a lot of background and a lot of talking and a lot of things to get prepared for this. So I would still expect right now that we would start to hear some stuff coming out on Sunday, and maybe even an official announcement Sunday, and then hopefully some kind of, press conference some kind of thing on Monday and to get this thing rolling. So that's still my expectation.
If that is the case, could you see a scenario like North Texas and Oklahoma State have going on if John Sumrall is the guy and Tulane wins and goes to their conference championship and possibly to the playoff?
I could see the first step of that where it's, hey, I don't know, maybe I see both steps of that. I don't know. You get signing day done. You're still able to kind of talk to this roster while you're preparing maybe for a playoff run, and then the portal doesn't open until January 2nd. The wrench that throws into it is if you win.
Yeah.
If you win, and you go, well, they stay the second game too, because then you play December 31st or January 1st. Then it becomes an issue. That's why I think it's really difficult. I think you go, hey, coach, get this week done, coach the AAC championship game, and then you're Auburn's football coach. Then Tulane, hey, you got to figure something out if you win. And I think that's tough to do. But I think that's the world we live in right now. And again, I don't, it's not ideal, but it's the timeline that has been forced upon us by everything that's going on. And so my guess is that's what would happen if it's John Sumrall and you're going, hey, finish out this regular season, but then after that, it's time to come to Auburn.
Yeah, and you know, and you say that, and it goes right into what John's saying. John's been saying this for a little while. When Jason says, John, after that, you know, Tulane, you figure it out. You know,
and I think that's what you have to do. Because I think that's part of the work. Like I said, you got so much to do with roster retention, with the portal, with all the things that are going on. You're going to have to start to get a staff in place to prepare for that portal run. You can do some of those things, but it's hard to be fully invested if you're still coaching a football team.
Well,
it's like I've said, this is a Tulane problem. It's not an Auburn problem. You know, Tulane's got to figure this out. If Sumrall leaves, I mean, you know, hate it for you, but that's just the way it is.
Speaking of roster retention, I heard this from a lot of Auburn fans about now the need to pay even more money for Deuce Knight to make sure he stays. I heard from Auburn fans over and over again after the Mercer game. You mean to tell me that Hugh Freeze is sitting there looking at Ashton Daniels and looking at Deuce Knight on the practice field, and he's still going with Jackson Arnold all the time? I'm telling you, those two guys have looked really, really good in the last 2 weeks, particularly Deuce last week.
Yeah. The hard part is that we also saw Ashton Daniels the last game of Hugh Freeze's coaching era, and they lost to Kentucky 10-3 at home. So I'm giving Derek Nix a lot of credit for what these guys have been able to do these last 2 weeks. Just the different, just change on offense. Hey, we're going to do this, and this to simplify it. I think shorter, quick passing game. Some of the things they've decided to do has helped these guys. Now's the first time that a defense also has the same quarterback and this offense to think about and has seated on film. Vandy didn't have any of it at all. And then Mercer did not have Deuce Knight in this system. Now Alabama has seen Ashton Daniels play this offense and do the things they do. How will you react to now people having a little bit of a book on you? That'll be the story on Saturday. But yeah, I know, no question that they bring a different aspect of things, and Deuce is completely different. Ashton can run. Deuce is Vince Young-esque in terms of what he does with his legs and those things. And I said it earlier in the year, I'm sitting at halftime in College Station, Texas, thinking Nick Saban changed quarterbacks at halftime of a national championship game. You got a guy over there that you can't move the football at all. You're doing nothing on offense. You can put that guy in the game at halftime at Texas A&M and see what happens. So yeah, I thought there were a lot of opportunities to see what he could do long before this. But you know what? In the grand scheme of things, maybe the best thing for Deuce Knight and for the future of Auburn football was that he did not play and did not have the lack of confidence that it might have come earlier this season. So maybe it was a win in the long run.
DJ Durkin might have the same feeling that you do, but I'm more interested in your thoughts, Jason. What do you think Alabama's biggest strength is? What does Auburn need to be focused on to beat Alabama on Saturday night?
If you ask any coach and any defensive coordinator, even though Alabama has not run the football very well, you still have to take away the running game. That's still it. Because if Alabama runs it, it's over with. Because they're going to throw the football. So I think you have to continue what they've done. I went and looked, and outside of ULM and Eastern Illinois, Alabama is averaging 97 yards rushing per game. So taking those 2 games out of the equation, in the other 8 games, no, how many games that'll be? 9 games. The other 9 games of the season, they have 875 yards rushing and 9 touchdowns total. And so you start looking at that going, man, that's the key. 4 games away from home. They've won them, but they've all been close and they've all been battles. But 4 road games, they have 100 yards rushing. They're averaging 100 yards and they have 2 touchdowns total away from home. So I think that's the key. They haven't scored a bunch. That's what you have to do, because if you let them run the football, then it's going to be trouble. So I would still say you've got to put the ball and make them one-dimensional, because if they run it, then they're going to do both.
Conversely, if Auburn were to pull the upset Saturday night, what's that going to look like? What would that have to look like for Auburn?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think you have to win first down if you're Auburn. That's going to be the key.
When you say win first down,
you can't be 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9. It had 2nd and 6 to give you some options. So I think you got to get 3 or 4 or 5 yards on first down. That's going to be the key, because if you're 3rd and long, I don't care what it looked like against Vandy, it's not going to look like that against Alabama if you're 3rd and long all day. I mean, that's just the simple fact. And so I think you've got to be successful on first down. And so I can see a lot of the short passing game again, still doing some of those things. And so to me, that's going to be the key.
Couple of things, just procedural here. Losing Sylvester Smith for a targeting against Mercer, from a pure football sense, what does that do? He doesn't play the first half.
Yeah, the good thing about this is that they've played about 6 different guys back there. And so that's been the positive. So you've got Caleb Harris and you got Jaquez Robinson. So you got 2 older guys that have played a lot of football. Then you look at Eric Winters and Anquan Fagans, the 2 freshmen that have played a lot of football. So you're also without Champ Anthony too, who's been out and will not play the rest of this year. So now you're playing without 2 of your 2 most veteran guys, at least for this first half. But Eric Winters has been really good. Anquan Fagans has been really good. I think you're going to see more of those guys in the first half. And the question is kind of getting Sylvester Smith prepared for the second half, and how do you do that, in the first half of a game?
And number 2, please tell me Keldrick Falk was only out because, it was Mercer and they could do well without him.
Yeah, he should be fine. We saw him Monday, I think, when we were at the facility, and I just kind of did a thumbs up, and he gave me a thumbs up back. So that's, I think it was one of those where, hey, got a little ding to the hip, and they're like, hey, no, we're not doing this. Just hang out. And he should be ready to go.
Two questions that I've heard come up quite a bit this week, just to kind of clarify. The first one, do you expect to see both Deuce Knight and Ashton Daniels playing on Saturday?
I don't expect it. Could we do it? Could we see Deuce Knight some too? Yes, maybe. But I don't think you go into this going, we're absolutely going to play this guy in this game. I think he has probably elevated himself to, hey, if we get in a situation, here's some things we could do and put him in there. But I think you're probably not going into this going, yep, that's going to happen. So I think there's a chance, but I don't know that you're planning it.
And number 2, if Auburn wins the game, does DJ Durkin emerge as the leading candidate?
I don't know. I still think in my mind, you've probably had to go further down that road already if you're going to make a decision and have everything done by Sunday. My guess is that there's already been a lot of discussions made. So I don't know that it impacts you. And I don't know that it should impact you one football game or not. Now, we know from a fan perspective, if you go out and win this football game, then it's going to create a tidal wave of support. That's just the way things work. But I think from a public perception, it probably would. If you're John Cohen, you probably had to advance this thing further along. And the game's at 6:30. It'll be 10 o'clock, 10:30 if we're lucky before it's over with. To be able to make something happen on Sunday and get that thing done, I think you probably would have had to already move this thing along somewhat.
Well, with that being said, with still a coaching interim and uncertainty of the future until at least Sunday, and it being the Iron Bowl and it being at Jordan-Hare Stadium, what do you expect the recruiting opportunity to be like, the impact this weekend of the game?
Yeah, they got a bunch of official visits in, and you still have your and it's part of the game now. It's like the NFL. NFL will go after free agents even without head coaches because they have the GM in place and they have the folks in place going to look. Here's what we're going to do. It's the same thing now in college. I mean, Will Redmond and Kenyatta Walker and those guys. That side of the football staff is still here and will still be here, in my opinion. I think you'll move forward with those guys because that's part of why you hire them. And so you're looking at, hey, look, this thing is going to move forward. This roster is going to stay in place. We're trying to keep all these guys, and you're a part of it. And so I think because of that, I think they're still going to have close to a dozen official visitors in this weekend. And so that'll be the interesting one, is if you do have, start to get some coaching talk on Sunday, that you could have official visitors still on campus and learning about potentially who their new coach could be at the same time. So that could create some drama for sure.
Mm-hmm. So much coverage on such an impactful period of time in Auburn athletics, including wrapping up last night's basketball loss, looking ahead to today. So many things going on. AuburnUndercover.com. You've got such an accomplished crew. Jason has once again, he's won the award before, but yesterday nominated again for Alabama Sports Writer of the Year, one of many on that staff who has the experience and intel. How do people get involved in all of it, Jason?
Yeah, like I said, check us out at AuburnUndercover.com, part of the 24/7 network. And like I said, a whole lot going on. Basketball, hopefully a little bit better matchup than last night against the Michigan team that looked like the Chicago Bulls in 1996 for a while last night.
One thought about that. Again, it's AuburnUndercover.com. Great. I've been a subscriber for as long as I can remember. Last night on the telecast, Bruce Pearl, Yaxel Lindenborg, for those who know ball, you know who he is. Yeah. He was at UAB last year. Bruce Pearl said, and he's a graduate student now, he said they offered $1 million for Yaxel Lindenborg out of UAB, ended up at Michigan. He said that didn't even warm him up for $1 million for 1 year.
No, these basketball rosters are a little different, for sure. And hey, it looks like he made a great choice for him. He gets to play almost the three at 6'9", 240 for that Michigan team. They're big. That's as physical a basketball team as you're going to see in college. And so, difficult matchup for sure. And you'll see turn around now and you get St. John's, another good basketball team. So, hey, by the time Auburn and Alabama get to the conference schedule, the term well tested is going to be there for both of these teams for sure.
Jason, happy Thanksgiving, my friend. Thanks so much for visiting with us.
Thanks, guys. You too.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, Jason. Really appreciate it. Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover. Great breakdown and analysis as always. Auburn Undercover, man, great stuff.
Yep. Coming up, hopefully it's our Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. We're still waiting to see. That's coming up with Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
Phoenix Physical Gym.
Extra, extra. The referral perks just doubled at Dixie. Now through November 30th, get $50 for you and $50 off for your friend when you refer them to Dixie. That's a $100 value. Current Dixie customers get 10% off any repair just for being loyal. Dixie Cares Plan members get an unbeatable 20% off. Plus, you can finance anything over $250. Double the rewards, double the savings.
Building your finances doesn't happen by chance. It takes guidance tailored to your needs. That's what Synovus provides. Advice from experts you can trust. Solutions for your day-to-day life. So when it's time to make decisions, you can do so with confidence, knowing you're closer to the future you want. From basic banking to financial planning. Let's discuss what's next. Visit a Synovus branch near you. Call 888-SYNOVUS or visit synovus.com/get there to get started.
It is about 10 minutes to the top of the hour on this Wednesday. You know, I'm always trying to look forward to, it's kind of an interesting time of the year, no doubt. But Thanksgiving, always a special time. It's the calm before the storm. You know, you got people traveling today, then tomorrow they get up and waiting for Aunt Edna and Uncle Bob to show up, and they're running a little late, and you're thinking, geez, you see the table set, and you're sitting right next to Edna, and you're trying to move some stuff around so nobody's
She's always bringing her meatballs that she thinks everybody loves, and they're the worst, and Uncle Bob always wants to, you know, have you pull his finger, or he drinks a little too much.
Yeah. So you got to pace yourself. It's all about pace, because it's a long weekend, folks, particularly if you're an Auburn or an Alabama fan, which certainly, you know, the majority of our audience is, I would imagine, or sports fans for that nature. I say this as a public service every year. There's a lot of football that's going to be played tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Do not be local man's best friend, if you catch my drift.
You don't have to have something on every game. Oh, boy, this is great. We've got this one. Oh, Dallas, yeah, I've always, you know. Oh, wait, hey, don't forget, you know, we've also got Navy Memphis and, you know, people.
Just don't do it. Don't do it, because local man, I mean, he's there to answer your call. You don't have to feel like you got to play every game. Hey, the Detroit Lions are on at noon. Got to play them. No, you don't. No, you don't have to. If you want to, if you think it's a value, then do it. But just tap because you don't want to wake up Monday going, oh, wow, I got to make a drop off tomorrow. And this was going to be pretty big. Don't put yourself in that position.
No.
Just don't do it. So come Friday, the Phantom 4 will be back. Take a look at those, see what you think. Maybe, you know, try a couple of those if you like. You know, Phantom's 2 games over 500 if you haven't noticed.
Yep, another non-losing weekend.
Yeah, just trying to throw that out there for what it's worth. But,
you
know, you got to pace yourself. And more than anything, you know, have a good time and remember what Thanksgiving is all about. We have a lot to be thankful for, folks. A lot.
That's exactly right. Games this weekend, NFL games this weekend. You know, some things you're probably not used to, you know, like the oyster dressing and how many people eat pearl onions, you know, just every day of the week.
Are you not a pearl onion guy?
Oh, I am, but I can't eat them every day. That's for sure. I love.
Glad to know that.
Onions.
See, I like pearl onions in my martinis. I don't like olives. I like onions.
That does sound so nasty. I mean, martinis sound nasty. What is martini? Vermouth and gin or something like that?
Well, you know, I'm a vodka guy. I don't like gin.
Yeah.
Now, in a Vesper, It's 3 parts gin, 1 part vodka, and some Lillet with a lemon twist, which are nice. I like a
Thank
Lillet.
you for Casino Royale.
It's
Okay.
a very nice drink, but yeah, I'm more a little pinch of vermouth. You know, that's the dry element to kind of keep it. You know, I want a dry martini. You ever heard the line, "Hey, let's get out of these wet clothes and into a dry martini"?
Yeah,
that's
I
a
think
great
that
line.
was, I think it was either James Bond or Groucho Marx. How can it be dry? I mean, it's liquid. How can it be a dry?
Well, it's like a dry white wine. You know, I don't like a fruity wine. I like it a little drier and crisper. Same with a martini.
Well, let's go to the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. We've got a light wheel today heading into the holidays. We've got 4 big ones here from Gurn Jr. It's we have no idea what they're all about or anything like that. We'll take them as they come. All brought to you by Victoryland 777 Casino, exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner too.
Let's spin away and see what pops up on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. You can be a winner too at Victoryland.
Ominous.
Ominous.
This is an
ominous.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yep. I had heard about this one. In the Big Ten.
Okay.
Big one. You know, it is Michigan and Ohio State. Michigan, I think, has won 4 in a row. They're playing at 11 a.m. at the Big House.
Come on.
31 and snowy.
Ooh.
I get 31. 31's not terrible.
No.
Michigan in late November.
Is that what makes a rivalry? 31 and snowy. Whoa, Michigan, Ohio State.
See, you know, that's what all the people up in the upper Midwest and they say, oh, boy, it's football weather. No, snow ain't football. I mean, I'll watch it. I've never called a game in the snow in football in my life. I never want to. Snow's the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind watching games in the sno when I'm in my living room watching it.
And you got the under, you know.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
John has told me before, when there's snow, chances are you play the under even a little bit more than you would otherwise.
That's why I got to check the weather report out.
There you go. All right, that's one.
Didn't Mississippi State play a bowl game in the snow, I want to say, one year? I think they did. I think it was the Wheat Packer Bowl, for as a matter of fact.
Worst. All right, here we go. 3
All right,
more.
let's do it. See what we got here. 3 more to go. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. And it's the red panel.
No shutdown.
No shutdown.
Is this governmental? Is this politics? No shutdown.
It's like no sleep till Brooklyn. All right, let's see what we got here.
Joe Burrow, he has been missing a lot of time. I think it's a toe. Is due to get back. Yeah, it was a turf toe tear. He has missed 9 games. The Bengals play in Baltimore. They've done, Joe Flacco has done okay, but the Bengals are terrible. They still have a chance to make the playoffs. We'll see. He said, I'm never going to go up to somebody and say, nah, I'm healthy, but I don't think I should play. I'm not going to live my life and play that game scared that something. I wish he would tell some of the NBA players.
Yeah.
Load management. I love me some Joe Burrow. By gosh, that's a quarterback that you can get behind. He's playing against the Ravens. No, he's not worried about, lack of production and maybe not reaching some of his incentives or getting hurt late in the season for no reason. He's a football player.
Yeah, he's a football player.
Hey, football, Joe. I like it.
Yeah, come on.
Love
there
that.
you have it. All right, Joe Burrow.
All right. 2 minutes to get the
got?
final 2 in before Thanksgiving.
Do it. Yeah.
All right. Sold out and cast worthy.
The Kansas Jayhawk color scheme.
Yeah, sold out. Sold out. Whoa. Georgia Tech sold its Georgia home game. How much did Auburn get for selling out their Baylor game? Georgia Tech, the place seats about 50,000. Georgia Tech sold the game for $10 million. I say sold the game. Now, where are they playing this thing?
In Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
And for $10 million, John, does it seem to you, and you're the money guy, you're the business guy in our partnership, does that seem a little light? I mean, they could have got more than $10 million for that.
I'll say this. Since this seems to be something new in college athletics, I really don't have anything to judge it with.
But I mean, Mercedes-Benz is right by Georgia Tech's campus.
To me, it's a win-win. I mean, Tech's going to walk to the stadium, basically. I mean, I know they won't walk, but
right there.
They're right there. I mean, an extra to me, $10 million for Georgia Tech, that's a lot of money.
It is.
Especially if it's going toward NIL. So, to me, it's a no-brainer. We hold 40-something thousand. This place holds 80. Yeah, we're in. You pay us $10 million? Sure. We're all over it.
But the problem is that, all the Georgia Tech season ticket holders at Little Grant Field, a quaint on-campus place that's been there since 1912, they have different seats. They're not going to like them and everything. Plus, it's going to be swamped with Georgia fans. I mean, it's Georgia Tech's home game. It'll be 70% Georgia.
I see you working there,
Not
but
fair.
you know what? Here again, I hate to use my patented line. Hate it for you. Hate it for you, Tech fan. But you know what?
Narrator
like
voice.
Auburn. I mean,
He
you
does
really think
indeed.
Auburn fans want to go to Atlanta to play Baylor? They'd much rather play at Jordan-Hare, but financially makes sense. Let's do it. Hate it for you season ticket holders. By the way, we just jacked up your ticket prices along the way. So, if you don't like it, too bad.
Here's where the narrator comes in and says, indeed, in fact, John does not hate it for you. All right, one more. Here we go.
Yeah, got to spin it to make it official. Not sure. Oh, yeah. What do we got here?
Cost worthy.
See, Georgia Tech saying this is cost worthy. Yeah. We're in. Heck yeah. I think that's what it might be. Let's see what we got here.
No, we're not going to have two Georgia Tech references on the topic.
No, only one.
Oh, yeah. How could that decision, if he leaves Ole Miss, how does that work? Okay. Between the conclusion of the Egg Bowl, between the Rebels and Mississippi State in Starkville Saturday, and the time, back up a little bit, back up to the top, and the time the team's buses make it back to Oxford, they're supposed to receive an answer from Lane.
No.
Like on the bus. He does most of his career is involved in transit, on the tarmac of an airport or in a bus. He's got to call them after the game and say, hey, look, I'm staying, or look, I'm going. The Rebels can tell Kiffin to pack it up and head out if they want to.
Yeah. I'll say this. If Lane's on the team bus, that's a good sign. If he's not, ooh.
Yeah, bad.
Not good.
I think.
How's he going to get back to Oxford? Is Uber picking him up, or what's going on with that?
He'll be able to afford stretch limo if he wants to. Heck, if things happen, he may not be headed back to Oxford anyway. They may send a plane for him to head to Baton Rouge.
That's true. You're right about
the game.
That. Yeah, be a moving van in front of his house. All right, folks, great show today. Thanks to all of our guests, CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, and Jason Caldwell from Auburn Undercover. As we've told you all week, tomorrow we're taking the day off. It is Thanksgiving, but Friday the Phantom will join us, Lee Sterling. Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician, will be on Friday, as will Ralph Michaels from Wager Talk and the Gold Sheet. It is Iron Bowl Eve on Friday, and getting your thoughts and predictions on the big game.
Many thanks to our guests. Many thanks to our producer, Gurn Jr. Many thanks for you, our viewers and listeners, on this Thanksgiving Eve. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.